Hello everybody, my name is Benji, and welcome back to Dyson's Sphere Program, where last time we finished up our permanent endgame mall design. Well, technically mid-game mall design, because there's some stuff that we haven't quite unlocked yet that we're going to end up including in the mall at a later date. Most of that being, where is it? The Mark III assembling machine. Vertical launching silos are going to be a thing that we do here. Artificial stars are going to be a thing that we do here. There's something else as well. I forget. Yes, the particle colliders are going to be a thing that we do here, like at a later date. There's things that we don't need currently. And last time as well, we upgraded our supply of motors by copy and pasting down a couple more green motor machines here, as well as, motor making machines. So these guys are operating fine, but I think I'm actually going to end up taking them out at some point and replacing them. And I'll explain what I mean by replacing them. I mean replacing them not on this planet, but on a different planet. That's right, we're going to start using these interstellar logic stations a little more often than we currently are, because these other planets, like Asad Australis 2, has 10 million copper and 1 million iron, so that's actually not a great example. But Asad Australis 1, the lava world, has 21 million and 20 million iron and copper, respectively. So I can go here, have a ton of throughput, and a ton of just ability to actually harvest resources. Tons of resources, because motors are very resource intensive. They take a lot of stuff to make one motor. And we'll be able to make assembly lines for motors and not waste our iron and copper like we are here. But that's kind of a later date thing. I also realized another issue is the fact that I did not explain the research that we went through last time. So last time we got a couple of different things researched. One of those things that we researched was these particle containers. No, sorry, not the particle containers. We've had the particle containers. One of them was the particle broadband, and yes, we will need those. We don't need them yet. Plastic kind of sucks oil product. Same thing with the carbon nanotubes, oil and titanium product, so that's a bit of a shame. And then the graphene as well, which we're actually going to do a new design for graphene as soon as we get these particle containers up and running, because the particle containers will allow us to get these guys up and running, because we need particle containers in order to make this guy that charges the accumulators, and then we obviously need full accumulators for the orbital collectors. These are already being produced, they're perfectly fine, and then the interstellar logic stations require the planetary logic stations, which require the particle containers. So that's just like a tier by tier by tier thing that comes from the particle containers. We'll deal with that, and it'll be fine. And then we'll be able to get fire ice, which is what that little node thing down at the bottom is. That's called fire ice. And it turns into graphite, or graphene, and hydrogen, so that we don't need as much sulfuric acid, and our sulfuric acid can all be repurposed into making plastic, which goes into the organic crystal, and later game, the particle broadband. That's thinking way down the line. We don't need to think that far down the line just yet. Something else I want to do eventually, once we have the fire ice recipe and we are doing carbon nanotubes, is actually have proliferation Mark III, so that we can have Mark III proliferation juice on stuff like our deuterium fuel rods, and have our deuterium fuel in a little bit better of a position than we currently have it, which is not a bad position, it's just also not a great position, so we'll want to do that. Another thing that we unlocked that's really big is this frame material, which I call the big platforms. And the big platforms require that titanium alloy. We have a recipe for that already. Again, more sulfuric acid. That's perfectly fine. And then also the silica plates. We're fine on that. And then the carbon nanotubes. Again, oil product. Kind of suck. A little bit farther down the line. And then the strange matter, even farther down the line than that because of the particle containers and the deuterium. And it just, that's insanity. We'll have a whole thing for that where we're harvesting from the gas giant very specifically for the strange matter only. And that'll be the only thing that we have hydrogen pumping in for from the orbital collectors is specifically for the strange matter deuterium recipe. And we'll need so many deuterium fractionators, it's not even funny. But we'll figure that out at a later date as well. And then the other thing that we need to actually put into logic hubs are these plasma exciters. They're not hard. We don't need that many of them. We essentially only need these guys for the bus. There's really nothing else that they go into. They're not really an intermediate product in anything. They just kind of exist, rather. And then obviously we'll get into purple science, which takes the particle broadband. So that's kind of like a broad spectrum of what's coming next and what's, you know, in store for the future. As well as the graviton lens, which, strange matter, graviton lens, space warper. That's just progression. But today, what I really want to focus on are these particle containers so that we can actually start harvesting the gas giants and get all of that done and dealt with. That's going to require us pasting another temporary blueprint for the graphene using our current model for the graphene in order to have this operating properly. Green motors as well, so today will probably involve the motor solution, and then probably carbon nanotubes done today as well, because carbon nanotubes are just ever so slightly a bit of a bitch to actually do. So I guess right now what I can do, first of all, is grab more drones, because I need more drones. And then we can go on ahead and we can place down another graphene blueprint. I just tried to pause like I'm playing not Dyson Sphere program. But we should just be, I said should, I'm sorry. We will just be able, I almost said it again. We will just be able to place this down. We have enough space. Collide with other object. Need foundation support. Foundation support's the easy bit. That's literally just this. And then make sure every single piece is covered like that. I don't like this view. I like the other view better. And then of course it's gonna have that issue. I don't know why it's gonna have that issue. All that matters is that I get this centralized. Do I even have that many Mark 1 belts? Apparently I do. And that gets done. And then this goes in. And this goes there. And apparently I did not grab chem labs. Where are my chem labs? Where are my chem labs? Wait a second. Oh no! Oh, nobody told me in the comments about it either, broski. Problem? I don't have any of my steel, my oil. I don't have any of my oil components being made. No. Man, and that, ah. Ah, that sucks. That sucks. That's really bad, actually. Like, I have a lot in storage, yeah, so we're gonna be fine, at least for now, but no. Nobody told me that that was an issue. Wow. I can't believe I forgot that. That's gonna be something I actually have to, like, take a break here and think about, because that wasn't something I even considered as an issue. Like, that was not a thought in my brain at all. Wow. Huh. That just straight up was not a thought in my brain that I would have to be figuring that out today. Wow. Alright, so I'm going to take a minute here. I'm going to reference the build that I have in my other save, because that's what I did to get to here in the first place, and we're going to see where the hell I went wrong. I'll be back. So I found the problem. The problem is the fact that this is built on a border. It's built on a map border. So you can see the fault line is here. And obviously that's going to cause issues when I'm trying to copy paste it, and I just forgot to copy paste. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me. So I am gonna have to just completely redesign it at this point. There's no getting around it. I have to copy, I have to redesign it myself. Luckily, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be that big of an issue. It's just gonna be a couple of these guys. It's gonna be 2 of them total. So like I can put that here, and I can put the other one here, unless this already has glass. Because as far as I was able to tell, we need steel, stone, circuits, plasma exciters, steel, stone, circuit, plasma exciter. I don't even need glass for that because it's already done. Chem lab, I do need glass for chem lab. So, stone, steel, e-circuit, glass, so that's 5 items. And then stone, iron, and motors add another item for the water pump. But essentially, if I have stone, steel, e-circuits, stone and e-circuits on the main one, then we can get this done. Man, this sucks. I'm upset at my past self. I don't even think I need 5 machines. I'm pretty sure it's just 4. And then steel, stone, e-circuits. I don't even really need to grab e-circuits or stone. Like, I already have stone. I already have e-circuits here. So why don't I just take e-circuits out of this? Like, e-circuits. Bring it up and over. And yes, it does have to be 2 because of that graphene belt. And then bring it back down as fast as I can. That's e-circuits. And then stone is another one. And then steel. Do I have steel anywhere accessible easily? Not by the look of things. So we'll do one of these steel. I hit tab and it did something. We'll go on ahead, we'll jack it down, jack it up. Grab like 20 drones, because my drones are being produced. Oh, that's what it did. Looks like I did 25, doesn't matter, I'm leaving it at 20. And then we can do steel as like the first one on here. And then also, of course, I placed the wrong belt, so I have to fix that. And then steel. E-circuits are obviously important as well, and then I'm just gonna go on ahead and do that. Just to make it look a little nicer. So this takes steel, stone, E-circuit, and then plasma exciter. Where's the other one that takes the plasma exciter? These two are the same recipe. So then we'll have the second one here be the plasma exciter. And then we'll go on ahead and drop that down. And then I can go ahead and hit demand on that. That's not going to cause any problems. The next one that's different is you. You require glass. This was already done. This is going to be done later. It just needs to be this. And that's where the motors comes in. And then it's not steel. It's just E-circuits, iron, glass for here, iron, and then motors. So iron can't quite come out of that. But it can easily come out of this one. I can just do that. Bring it up. And then I can just bring it down to 1 tier instead. And then bring it down the rest of the way. I wonder if I do that instead. No, of course not. There. Steel, E-circuit, you will need glass as well. For you, it's literally just this, and then for you, it's the same thing, it's just this. And then the plasma exciter. And then we'll need one for motor. And this is why I leave a space. Space for that exact reason. And then this one needs glass. So we can grab glass out of here. And then I don't really like the idea of blocking it off from that side, so we're not going to. We're going to do this instead. And then we're going to leave it up. Hit R once to get it over to here. And then drop it. And then glass. And that's everything, as far as I can tell. Except for, obviously, the fact that I didn't actually set demand for either of those. I can get rid of this logic station now because it doesn't matter. It's not important. There. And then this is, what, 2? I want 4 for each of these. So that was an oversight. Oversight fixed. Minus motors. Motors is still slow. And then the particle collider things. The plasma exciters. That's what they're called. Plasma exciters. That was a doozy. That was a trip. I was not expecting to have to do that this episode. That was absolutely a trip. I can't say I'm a fan of past Benji at the moment in time that this is being recorded. Past Benji is a little bit of a shithead. Just saying. What was next on my chopping block? Oh, yeah. Particle containers. These guys. Doesn't need to be a large blueprint. I'm looking for, I don't know, maybe 6 per second, 4 per second. 4 machines gets me 1 per second, so 4, 8, 12, 16 would get me 4 per second, or 24 would get me 6 per second. So I think we take the 16, 8 and 8, and we're going to do it here next to the plastic. So plop down a thing. You all have seen the design process. It's essentially the same, except it's going to involve 2 logic stations. And then if I need to double this, I can double this. Also, if I do that, does it center it better? Yeah, it does. I'm just trying to make it symmetrical. So, particle containers have 3 inputs. They have green motors, copper plates, and graphene. So, obviously, we're going to need the copper, the graphene, and the green motors. And these are hungry boys, so we're going to go on ahead and put it to 1,000 each. Just like this. Jack it up to that. They're going to be coming from all over the place, so go on ahead and do that as well. And then particle container supply 1,000. Jack that up. And these guys aren't really going to be going much of anywhere that doesn't have extra support on the other side, so we don't need to have that many. From here, we're going to go on ahead and start blueprinting with a minimum of Mark II belts, which means I'm actually going to need more Mark II belts. And that's fine because of the fact that we've been making a bunch. Now, you all know the drill. Pull out the copper, run it along the side. Same thing with the graphene, run it along the side. Same thing with the green motors, run it along the side. Grab ourselves our recipe for the item. Put on our belts. Mirror it on the other side. And then it was copper first. To there. Graphene second to there. Green motors third to there. And then it was farthest, second closest, closest. Copy, paste, grab, run it down, grab, run it down. And then power pole, power pole, power pole, power pole, power pole, power pole. Of course, that mucked up because the belts weren't placed. Now they're placed. Clip the ends, and there we have it. Particle containers, demand, demand, demand. All done. Let me check my blueprint book, see what number blueprint we're at. 17, so we need number 18. I didn't actually copy it, my fault. And then I hit the wrong button. This, copy. This, copy. Copy everything I see here. Paste. Backspace 18. Planetary purple tubes. They are called particle containers. I call most things in this game a different name. I don't know why, I just do. I don't know what button I just hit. But the copper is arriving. I feel like copper is suffering. Why do I feel like copper is suffering? Copper is not suffering. It's got plenty. It's just in transit, I guess. I see lots of green motors coming here. I don't see much copper coming here. There it is. Maybe up the copper to 2,000 request? And then up the charging rate just slightly. Maybe that'll help. But now we do have particle containers, so that job is done. And with the flow of particle containers means that these machines are working. And with this machine, we can officially finish the mall. This is a charger. That is what this wonderful machine is right here. So you can choose to either charge or discharge. So we're going to hit charge. It's going to have a little animation that it plays. Energy exchanger. It's charging itself currently. And then we can put in our lovely charged item. Or our lovely uncharged item, rather. And then it'll automatically export a charged item. So now we take an empty accumulator, which running low on iron makes me concerned. And it's the inserter's fault by the looks of things. So we'll just grab like 200 of these and just go around upgrading some of our inserters. Because they could use an upgrade anyway. Yeah, now it's not struggling at all. And then let's go on ahead and call this full. That way it'll stop outputting to here. Because for some odd reason, it's not actually doing it properly, where it's supposed to split it. And you can see it charges itself back up. We have some charged accumulators. Very nice. Very, very nice. None of these guys look like they're suffering at the moment. Particle containers are on the way. These are all slow as is anyway, so it's not like they need to be super buffed. Same thing with everything here. Everything here is just slow as is, so it doesn't really need to be buffed at all. Next up on the chopping block are those plasma exciters, because that'll give us access to a whole bunch of different things. It'll give us, first of all, the mall finishing on that regard, and it'll also give us the oil stuff automatically producing. So let's go on ahead and head over to where we have all of our main production stuff. Like over here, we have a whole production hub of things. Reminds me of a circuit board. The constant clicking. But yeah, over here. And then why not here? Oh, because map border. Actually, that'll be fine. That'll be perfect. We can just place this guy, like, here, roughly. We don't need a ton of these guys. And I'm not really worried about the ratio, so I'm just going to do, like, 6. What even is the build ratio for these things? 1 every 2 seconds. And we need 2 copper magnets per second. So let's actually even... No, we'll just... Yeah, we'll keep it here. We'll keep it like this. This will be fine. And then I'm just going to go on ahead and boop it in. We're going to go on ahead and boop it in. So it's done. It's literally that simple. You just take the copper magnets, which we already have a system for. You take the prisms, which we also already have a system for right here. I am, while I'm here, going to just go on ahead and upgrade our green circuit system, because green circuits are required in a lot of really important things. So we're going to upgrade that to, you know, keep up with the demand, so to speak. Everything else here is fine as far as I'm aware of it currently, including our these aren't screws, our gear setup. Holy mother of drones, look at them all flying. And look at our resource counts go down. That's something I'm concerned about. Very concerned about. But particle plasma exciters are now finished and good to go. So we will be seeing very shortly the plasma exciters actually coming to these locations and building us our new stuff. Don't have any of these yet. Well, we don't have any of those because these aren't backed up. And if these aren't backed up, these won't start to produce. And if these don't start to produce, this won't back up. And if this doesn't back up, then this won't actually start to produce, which means that we won't actually be getting a lot of different things for a while. So we can go on ahead and put that back to where it was and have ourselves a little bit of a battery backup, so to speak. And we'll also be using those to transfer power between worlds. So like this world is going to have our main power grid and our main power production hub. And then if we need to send power to other planets, there's 2 methods that we can use to actually have that happen. One of the methods is extremely easy and not difficult in the slightest, and the other requires a little bit of effort and a little bit of planning. I don't know entirely which one I'd like to use this playthrough. I'm kind of fine with just using either, in all honesty, but those 2 methods are either just straight up charging it here using those energy conversion things, the energy converter buildings, or just straight up shipping deuterium to location, and then having fusion power plants there as well, and just let them do their thing. I'm honestly fine with either, but I might opt for just shipping deuterium, just because it'll be a little easier. It's the easiest of all of the options, in my personal opinion. Also, as you can see here, our green motors are starting to suck again, because these are, like I said, hungry boys. They're very hungry, very, very starving, and there's really not much that I can exactly do about that. Hydrogen is having issues yet again, because of course it is. Hydrogen going over here to produce deuterium never really helps with our hydrogen input. And then obviously deuterium is being used to make fuel, so it's always in constant demand, even with the proliferation. So what's next on our list to cross off? Well, next on our list to cross off is probably going to be the carbon nanotubes. And the carbon nanotubes are really not hard. They just require a lot of oil, and we already have a lot of oil, so we're already ready to do it. I think we're going to do a very similar thing to what we did here for the plastic, because I'm pretty sure they have the same production rate. There. 1 every 3, 2 every 4, so it's actually 1 every 2 seconds. If this is 1 every 3, and we have 9 on each side, that would be 18 machines. 18 divided by 3 is 6, so we've got plastic making at a rate of 6 per second. I think I'm going to want to do the same thing with the carbon nanotubes and do 6 per second. So if we get 1 every 2 seconds, that means 2 machines produces 1 per second. So we need 2 rows of 6, 12 machines total. And then we can essentially just copy this for that criteria. 3, 4, 5, and then this is the 6th one. We can just do that. Place down all of our foundation, because yes, we're going to put it right here. Okay, that'll work. So we not going to say should. I'm estimating that this will be sufficient space for the build. Really? It didn't actually? Okay, fine. 4, 5, 6. There. Paste. Collide with other objects. That's fine. Get rid of the hub. And then upgrade the belts all to Mark II. I'm missing some Mark II inserters. That's not a problem. Just go over here, grab more. And then nix the belts. Get rid of the belts for a second. Because I need to put in... Why? What are you colliding with? Are you still colliding with the belts? Are you colliding with the power pole? Are you colliding with the chemistry labs? Fine, I'll put you 1 tier back. Doesn't much matter to me. Okay. And then the 2 things that we need are graphene and titanium, and then the thing that we're outputting is the carbon nanotubes. Drop everything down to 1,000. Hit demand, drones all the way up. 20. Leave the charge rate. Do titanium, graphene, graphene. Change the recipe to the carbon nanotube. Can't reach. There we go. Done. Copy. There. 19. Planetary nanotubes. Carbon nanotube. Save blueprint. There we go. And now we have 6 carbon nanotubes per second. Those carbon nanotubes will be absolutely fantastic for the big platforms, but we're going to have to get into the big platforms and a couple of the other things at a later date, because I have run out of time. So next episode, we are going to be delving deeper into the frame material, the big platforms, making sure that we actually have the throughput that we require to make the frame material, the big platforms, and we'll be finding a spot for them, as well as we will be venturing into the stars. And first of all, we're going to be harvesting our reverse rotation ice giant right here. And we're also going to be moving to Asad Australis 1, harvesting the planet, and producing motors on Assad Australis 1. Again, if anybody has any planet recommendations for names, please do put a comment down in the comments below and let me know, and I will name it for you. I have no qualms with that whatsoever, and I actually really like incorporating your guys' ideas into my playthroughs, like the Cockrock and a lot of the drone and factory names that I have in my Satisfactory playthrough, such as Motormouth and the Amazon warehouse, and there's a couple other ones that I don't have off the top of my head right now, but there are plenty more. So do give me your guys' ideas if you feel so inclined. But without further ado, adios, sayonara, au revoir, hasta la vista, das vidania, wiedersehen, ciao, and goodbye. Please have yourselves all a fantastic rest of your day. Get some sleep if you need to. Don't forget to stay hydrated, and I will see you guys in the next one. This video is in the bag. Later, y'all.